Now, author and illustrator Katie Davis with me here wants to get kids reading this summer, and she has her very own interview show that's doing just that. Brain Burps About Books.
It is.
We'll have to ask you about that in a moment. But it's held steady at #1 on iTunes, congratulations,
Thank you.
in the children's books and publishing categories, and it's so popular it's been downloaded, is this true, 124 countries?
Yes, half the world.
Half the world?
That's 50% of the world.
What's
it's crazy, right?
What's wrong with the other half? Why are
Seriously,
they taking so long to catch
what's with Scotland? Scotland has not...
Oh, yeah, and Switzerland, they're always neutral, I don't know.
No, in Switzerland. Hasn't been everywhere. Anyway, let's move on to literacy.
But literacy, and I've noticed you brought in a bunch of groceries.
Yeah, have I ever done that? I've never done that.
Can I just eat this stuff?
You may, although my kids
good.
might want the mac and cheese.
With the apple butter spread. Okay.
All right, let's talk literacy. Stop that, you.
Come on, what's this about?
Well, you know how there's a poet laureate, right? Well, the Library of Congress in 2008 established the National Ambassador for Young People's Literature in order to make the connection between reading and success in school and education. But a lot of people still don't know about it. And this year, the third ambassador was inaugurated, Walter Dean Myers, who's a young adult writer, and I had all three of the first three, rather, young people's, I'm saying it wrong. It's a long title.
No matter how you say it.
The National Ambassador for Young People's Literature. I had the first three on the podcast. It was the 100th episode this week. Yeah. And it's really a celebration of literacy because people aren't making the connection. And in the summer, you know, they have the summer slide, they call it. And so I want to get people to encourage their kids to get excited about reading. Not just reading, but excited about reading. And in the summer, people feel, I think, a little more free to let their kids choose what to read as opposed to during the year. And I really want it to be something that they do, as important it is to take medicine. And this is what Walter Dean Myers is saying. His theme for his ambassadorship is reading is not optional. And he says, if you have a kid who's sick, you don't say, why don't you take some medicine? You say, no, you take this medicine or you're going to die, you're going to stay sick or whatever. He says die. And so you don't want to make it optional. Reading is not optional. And if you say you have a little kid, you go into the market. Going to the market with little kids is not easy. At least it wasn't for me. And so I would always play a game with the kids. And when they were really little, you could say, I need to buy something with the letter O. And maybe you're going for orange juice. Or M. And you say, find something with the letter M. And you find it and you say, yes, but we need mac and cheese. And you can sound things out. And then you can also, with older kids, you can have them reading the list, the shopping list. Or you can have them, pre-literate kids, you can have them find pictures. I mean, this has the bunny rabbit on it. You can have them make up a story about a bunny rabbit. That's all pre-literate stuff.
Or you could have the older kids tell you how much riboflavin or polyunsaturated fat is on a label, right?
Yeah, because I can't even say that.
I can't either.
Maybe they could teach me how to say it.
Now, you have this blog that connects to your podcast.
Yes.
So how do people connect to that?
It's katiedavis.com. And today's show, for example, I have a link to the Library of Congress site where you can invite the ambassador to your school for next year. They're now scheduling, his visits and his appearances for next year. So you could have him. Authors come to visit schools, and that's another way to get kids excited about reading.
Meet the person who told you this story or is going to tell you the story as soon as you open the book.
Exactly. When I go to schools, I get the kids excited about reading and writing and the creative process. It's all about getting them excited to read, because when you are a good reader, when you read a lot as a kid, you will be successful in school and then later in life.
It really helps you
There's
a lot.
a definite connection.
Yeah.
It's not optional.
It's a wonderful way to entertain yourself too, and to stimulate your brain in other ways that you otherwise wouldn't.
And it's anything. You can have them read anything. It doesn't matter. If they're reading the cereal box in the morning, if you have a kid that doesn't like to read, the first national ambassador was John Sheska, who did The Stinky Cheese Man, and he was all about getting boys to read. His thing was, getting reluctant readers to read. And Catherine Patterson was the second one. She wrote The Bridge to Terabithia. A lot of people probably know it also from the movie.
So, by the way, these groceries aren't specific. You didn't pick these. They're just examples,
I picked them because this is what I had.
Okay. Yeah.
I just wanted examples
pantry,
you can just have kids decide to tell a story, like I was saying before about the chicken of the sea. Why is it called chicken? You can just find letters, do treasure hunts with letters. I mean, anything.
Sure. By the way, real quick, because we only have a few seconds, but Brain Burps About Books, kind of a funny title.
That's the podcast, right? You can find it on iTunes. I was trying to figure out a name for my blog initially, and on Twitter I'm at Katie Davis Burps. Yeah. And so I'm just all connecting, in Pinterest and YouTube, it's all Katie Davis Burps, and because I figured I could cover anything under the umbrella of literacy if I did brain burps, because that's
Sounds
anything.
good. Well, I'm going to eat some of this stuff, so I'll be burping
Probably
shortly.
hungry, yeah.
No, Katie Davis, thank you so much for coming.
My
Always
pleasure.
a pleasure. For more, go to WTNH.com and click on the Good Morning Connecticut section.